Sky Squad, we are back in the building and we're going to be discussing Belle Collective. And this was the final episode of the season. So I'm kind of like shook that it's over already, but this season has been 2 parts. So I guess we are par for the course with that one. So the episode is season 8, episode 8 is called Wedding Bells. And it says during a tea tour of Atlanta, Kerri and Marie argue about Kerri's tone and Marie's business. Latrice and Glen's surprise for the group goes over poorly with Mike. We're going to get into that. Okay. We're going to get all the way into that. Later in Jackson, Selena and Mike's wedding goes left when the food does not show up. Okay. We're about to get into some things. All right. Now, for me, the episode was good, but we got to talk about a couple of things, man. Before we get into that, y'all, I'm going to put this link in the chat. It's also in the description of this video. It is a link to a Google form. It is basically this survey that you see here right on the screen. Okay. This survey is to help me plan the 2027 travel schedule. Okay. Take 1 minute. Okay. Take 1 minute and fill out this survey. It is literally 4 questions. Okay. And with those 4 questions, this will help me decide I have to make some decisions about which places I'm actually going to go and which places people will come with me. Right. So take a little bit of time, hop on over. It takes literally 1 minute. Okay. All right. As you can see, some of the locations are on the screen. We've got Accra, Ghana, Cape Town. We've got Costa Rica. We've got Lisbon, Portugal, Marrakesh, Morocco. We've got Thailand, Sri Lanka, and we've got Zanzibar on the list. So help me determine which 4 we're going to do. All right. With that being said, let's dive on into the review. Okay, so this episode to me was better than like the past couple of weeks, to be quite honest with you, because I felt like we had some tension. And it was more than just tension with Matt and Kerri. This episode picks up, the group is still in Atlanta. They are staying at this house, which for me, they could have gotten a bigger house, but I guess they need a little bit of like tension for the group. And what better way to do that than with a very, very small room for the newest couple? Now, this episode picks up with Latrice talking to Kerri about Matt and their relationship and why Matt seems to take the sunny road when it comes to the closing of Brick and Spoon, one of the locations. Now, Kerri is literally down in the dumps about it, in the trenches, as she likes to say. And he has just a different take on it. His take is very much, we still got work to do. I understand that this is a devastating blow, but we got to keep it pushing and things will get better. And to that, I say, listen, I had to put myself in Kerri's position because the first thing is I really didn't understand. Like, girl, why do you need him to be wallowing in the wilderness with you? Like, why should he be wallowing in the swamp just because you are in swampland, right? What I mean by that is she is broke down, busted, and disgusted over this. And I totally understand that. And I'm not saying she should not be, okay? But what I am saying is it's not like he's not there, okay? There's a difference. If you are down in the dumps and the man is just not present, okay? It's not like he's not sitting with you through this. It's not like he's not having conversations with you. It's not like he's avoiding the subject altogether. He is literally right there with you. His position is just different from yours. Okay? That's really all this is. And while you may see it as a death of a business, or at least a part of it, it's not so much like the death of a person. Okay? And I understand that there are devastating impacts for this business, but at the end of the day, girl, he is still there, right? It's not, I mean, he's just got a sunnier disposition about how you should both move forward. It is not like he's not hearing you, but he is encouraging you. And so if you were both down in the weeds, like to me, a good partnership is the balance of the two. If both of y'all are down in the dumps about it, then who is there to do the work that needs to be done to keep pushing forward? So if you need some time to be down in the dumps, then allow him to help you and be that partner that says, okay, while you're down in the dumps in this moment, I gotta soldier on, and we gotta still keep this train that we call our household moving regardless. Because at the end of the day, his mama gonna need some money for them taxes, for the taxes on that land. Okay. And Kerri, you don't want to pay them taxes. So this man gotta keep the train moving. I mean, that's fair. Ain't that fair? I feel like that's fair. I feel like that is absolutely fair. That man gonna have to give his mama that money. So, girl, he got to stay up. He got to stay up and active. All right. That's just me. Anyway, Tambra comes out there and is like, y'all, we gotta go. Get dressed. So they get dressed, and the men are going to go have bourbon, and the women are going to go to a tea party on the bus. All right. The tea party on the bus actually sounds like an interesting idea. Once I saw it all together, I was like, you know what? People will come up with anything. And that to me is actually relatively creative. Okay. Now, when I think of Atlanta, I really don't think of tour buses for some reason. Like, I don't know why I don't generally think I need to take a tour of the city. For some reason, I'm not thinking that about Atlanta. I don't know why. It's nothing against Atlanta, but I tend to think of tour buses like in places that have like a lot of, I don't know. I'm light on Atlanta. So maybe I'm missing a lot, but I'm not taking a tour of Atlanta. But the ladies are about to do so. So cheers to that. So let me get to the men real quick. So the men are interesting. Some of the dialogue that the men have about whether or not they can actually choke down this bourbon. It's almost like if you can't choke it down, you're not a real man. And these were little interactions to me, but they lead to something else. Okay. And I'm going to give you what that something else is in just 1 second. So stay with me. All right. Stay with me. Stick with me because we going somewhere. Now, back on the bus, the ladies are having a tea. I ain't gonna lie. I would actually do both of those activities. Give me the tea party first so I could eat, so I can have a full stomach by the time I get to the bourbon tasting, so I don't get too wasted and I got some food on my stomach. So the ladies sit down for tea, crumpets, and tings. And for some reason, Marie needs to get some things off of her chesticles. Okay. So she is gonna lay it out there. You know, she feels like Kerri's tone, specifically with her man, is very much off, and Kerri admits to sometimes making Matt her punching bag. And I'm like, girl, like you gotta stop that. You gotta stop that. Your partner is not your punching bag. Okay, you reserve punching bag for the gym. That's where you take out your stress, your anxiety. Girl, take a walk. I do it daily. Okay. It really helps me. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It really does something to my mind. It helps me. So girl, get out there and walk. Do some exercises or something like that. Um, because all of that is going to get real. It could get real old real quick, especially now that you're doing it on TV. It's one thing to do it in the privacy of your own home, but it is another thing to do it on a televised TV show where now your partner is going to be subject to not only your harsh words, but also he will have to take in this harsh language from you two times. Once when it happens, the second time when it airs, and now, guess what? The court of public opinion is going to be weighing in as I am doing now. Now, it is one thing for you to do this in, again, the privacy of your own home where no one knows about it. People are a lot more inclined to take abuse, okay? What in whatever shape, form, or it might come, okay, in private. That's just real. Say what y'all want. Say what y'all want. That's just real, right? But the moment you start doing that stuff on national TV is the moment stuff start clicking for people. Okay? Because the people online are going to be like, what are you doing? Why she talking to him like that? Why you admitting to using him as your punching bag? Psychologically, what does he say? They saying I'm a punching bag. She said I'm a punching bag. She been doing this to me for years. Then the next thing you know, he got the group of men that he with. They saying things because they don't like nothing less than anything that's masculine. And I don't know if it's masculine for your wife to be talking to you like that. Okay, I'm just speaking about that group of men on this show. All right? Hear me what I say. Hear me what I say. Been doing this show, these recaps. We've been at this, y'all. Some of y'all in the chat, y'all know we've been at this since 2016. Okay, we a decade in the game in this reality TV commentary business. How many of these marriages have we seen go down that road? Okay, now I don't want that for you, Kerri, and I don't want that for you, Matt. So, Kerri, I'm gonna need for you to modify the way you talk to him. Matt, I'm gonna need for you to keep your mama out y'all business. Period. Okay. I say that with the utmost love as somebody who is critiquing what I see on TV. Okay. That's as far as I can go. Now, so Marie, I can understand Marie having an opinion about that, right? And Marie has been in and out of relationships. She's been married, she's been not married. So sometimes you could look at a person who has been married and then it didn't work out, and you could say, I could learn something from this person because what didn't work. So maybe that's fair, right? But where Marie is actually going with this between her and Kerri, I don't really feel like I understand it, to be honest with you. It's giving to me the girls make it seem like it is Kerri that is antagonizing Marie when it feels like it is Marie that is antagonizing Kerri to me. Okay. Now, granted, I do agree with Marie. Kerri in the beginning did have some kind of judgy things to say about Marie. But ultimately, I feel like Kerri is pretty harmless. I mean, although this season we've definitely seen some different sides of her. And maybe it's because I know Marie don't take no ish from nobody. And so maybe my general thought with Marie is I don't think that what Kerri has done has been nearly as crazy as some of the stuff that you have done. Okay. For instance, the stuff that Kerri has done has been rather lightweight. But the stuff that you about to do to Tambra again, I feel like I don't know. it feel I don't know. I can't call it. But content like y'all met up with an ex of Tambra's from years ago and was trying to get information about her from this man. All right. Now, when it comes to the reunion, you and Essie then had another conversation with some other man who is claiming to allegedly be with Tambra, while Tambra is claiming that she is with Demont. Okay. Now, when I measure, when I do a little measurization of, dastardly behaviors, Kerri does have a tone problem. Kerri is a little bit extra sarcastic when it comes to you. So I ain't saying you're all the way wrong. But the way you're making it seem like the woman is trying to come after you, it don't equate to the ways in which you go after Tambra. Does that make sense? Am I wrong about that? And what's crazy though is I try to always review these shows with the lens of I only know what I see on the screen, right? What these people do in their off time and who they actually are outside of the camera. I don't pretend to know. Cuz I realize what I'm reviewing is a show. I understand that. But because I have met some of this cast, it's always shocking to me because the Marie that I met was a vibe. Okay. She is a vibe in person. Like I actually gravitated to her because she's very intimate in how she speaks to people. Like the way she talks, I just feel like you can be drawn into her. Trust me when I say this. So it's always interesting to me when she gets real turned up. I know people got different sides to them. So I just always be wondering, it's like, but I think Marie is also invested in making a good show. So I think that's probably why she turns up so much. But that's just me. Okay. BK Rachel says, Kerri is messy. Marie is aggy when it comes to Kerri. I think that's a good way to put that, right? So the next thing we got to go to that Marie has an issue with is this post where somebody commented about Marie's business being closed. Did y'all happen to pause the TV like I did? I paused the TV. I paused the TV on that one. Okay. I had to pause the TV because I had to look and see. Was it thousands of people that liked this post about her business that has her so up in arms? It was 10 people. Girl, it was 10 people didn't like this post. Okay. Now, unless you thought all 10 of those people was your castmates, Selena reveals your castmates did not even know about this comment. Somebody then got you so worked up about this comment that's got 10 likes. Ma'am, granted, 10 people in a room is still 10 people. But 10 people when I think of, girl, this is spreading like wildfire, I don't think of 10 people. I think of hundreds, thousands, not the 10 that like the post. So she's all up in arms about what the girls got questions about her business. They didn't understand what happened. So all you had to do was explain it. They had questions. You explain it. It's simple as that. It wasn't like you was in an inquisition. Nobody put you in a police room and shone a light down on you and refused to give you nothing to eat or drink until you answered their questions. You was not in a interrogation room. Like, it wasn't even like that. The women were generally, in my opinion, okay, from what I saw on the screen, asking you questions about your business, which also, in my opinion, you should be proud to speak about. Yes, girls, we are moving into a new facility. Those old people was trying to charge me an arm and a leg, and I was not here for it because guess what? I've already had a facility reserved specifically for what it is that we do, and we are moving into that. So that's what y'all need to be coming to celebrate. We are moving on and we are moving up. That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say. I'm like, what is this hoopla for? And the way she's just going off on Kerri, putting her high heel down Kerri's throat, I was just like, what? So Letitia finally has to apologize, like, girl, I'm sorry, I was asking so many questions. And Marie's like, my business is not closing, my business not closing. I'm like, girl, I mean, here's the thing about reality TV, okay? I think we're all savvy enough to know this was not a real issue. It was not. Those 10 likes did not constitute a big issue, Marie. Okay? They did not. I mean, it just didn't. I felt like it was an overreaction at this point. Love you, but I did. So let's go. We leave there. And that poor guy on the bus is trying to do his tour. And he's just speaking while the ladies are speaking. I'm like, friend, they are not really here for the tour. Okay. You think that they're here for the tour. No one's here for the tour, sir. They're here for a scene. Your job is to just sit there behind the mic and say nothing until they yell cut. Okay. Period. Meanwhile, they get back to, well, they're headed back to the house. So they leave the bus for the van. They get on the van and Selena is crying because Mike don't want to read his vows out loud to the people. I'm gonna leave that for a second. We're gonna head on. Cause the girls tell her, "Oh, he love you, girl. He love you." Anyway, we get back to the house and it's time to change clothes because they're gonna be doing. Really, they gotta go. Okay, to be honest with you, they got to skedaddle out this house. But they change clothes because they're having a happy hour event where Latrice and Glen have decided that they're going to have some scrippers. Okay. Now, it's a male and a female stripper. Okay. Man and a woman. They are a couple, actually. Okay. They're a couple. Glen is hype about the strippers. Latrice is hype about the strippers. They blindfold the people. The strippers come in. They take the blindfolds off. Strippers looking good. Bodies are moist. And Mike stomps out. He is stomping into the 90s and down the stairs. And he has got to go. He cannot be around. I'm going to use his words. Okay. Because I had the closed caption on, he cannot be around that fruity stuff. This is where I almost turned the TV off. And I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna be for real with y'all. I'm gonna keep it 100% for real. You know, I feel like as a black man, as a black gay man, I'm cool with who I am, right? You know, I got, and I understand the dynamics of men in the South. I do. And I try to, when I do a recap, I'm really recapping it from the perspective of somebody that just loves reality TV, right? I try my hardest not to let, those little feelings creep in when I see something that's like a little bit that rubs me the wrong way if it really ain't got nothing to do with the main story. But this bothered me because what the F is fruity about a male stripper and a female stripper, and the man is not touching you? Okay? That man ain't go nowhere near you. That man got a whole wife, partner, or whatever. He is not concerned about you. How in the world is you being present while the man may be potentially touching on the other women? I get it if it was just you don't want to see her, you don't want to see him touching on her. I get that. Okay, I can rock with that because maybe you possessive like that. I don't know. I don't know. I can see it. Maybe you feel like he got something you don't, and she gonna like it a little bit more. I don't know. Okay. But when you get to saying stuff like that, that just leads me down a whole nother thought path. What does that man have to do with you? And what, because for it to be labeled as fruity, because if you're saying something is fruity, then basically what you're saying is you're talking about it being gay. So I'm just sitting here thinking, how did we get here? How did we get here? And a part of me is like, I really wish they had just cut it out because, again, the closed caption told me he said it because sometimes I can't understand everything that be said when the men are talking. Okay. I'm gonna leave it there. I can't always understand it, but I get it. Again, I'm from the South too. But I ain't like that at all. Because sometimes I just be like, I just want to watch some dang on TV. And why I got to always be offended by something like I can't even feel like I'm safe when I'm watching the TV. Doggone, and you making a big deal about nothing. This is nothing. And I know I shouldn't even be bothered by it. But I cannot do this review and not be honest about how I feel about it. Like, what if you don't like it because if you don't want to see him touching on your woman, I get it. But to call it that was just like, it was so unnecessary. And I think it says more about you than it does about what was happening in the scene. Because that man won't really even thinking about you, to be honest. I just didn't like that. And in my mind, I'm like, did y'all watch that back? I mean, I don't know. That just rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, oh no, I don't know if I ain't watching this no more because stuff like that just bothers me. Okay, it does. A lot of things bother me about some of these shows, but I think I was just at my I just didn't expect it. So it was disappointing to me. But I probably shouldn't be disappointed. That's where I landed. I shouldn't even be disappointed. So I'm gonna just roll it back. Glenn takes the perspective of this. Because Letitia's like, well, he was upset with me the last time I was around some strippers. And Glenn is like, well, this time I'm here. Okay. He's like, yeah, stripper. Mike says, no, I ain't with the strippers. Glenn like, oh, I ain't with the strippers either. I ain't with them either. And I'm like, oh my God. I get it's one thing to be like, you know what? My bad, bro. Yeah, I didn't even realize you felt like that about strippers or whatever. So I will leave with you because I'm your boy. And I get that. I could get that. But the way Glenn kind of it's like one of the things that somebody does when it's almost like they're trying to appease somebody else. It's like, oh yeah, I don't even like that either. But you hired them. Sir, you and Latrice hired them. What are we doing here? Okay. Again, it's one thing for him to say, you know what, bro, I get it. I'm so sorry. I'm going to leave with you. All right, y'all have a good time now. Enjoy yourselves, right? That's another thing. Because here's the thing, too, Glenn, in this situation, you are actually not there to witness your wife with a stripper. Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun how that turned out? You weren't there the first time. You're also not there the second time. So now it was more important for you, okay? Which tells me that it's not about him not being there or not. I don't know what it's about, but it ain't about him being there or not to supervise her because he wasn't there the next time to supervise her. He wasn't there because he left. Sometimes I just be feeling like guys do stuff for the approval of other guys. It's the truth. It's really true. It happens. Um, because the way he turned so fast was like, yeah, I don't even, these strippers. I mean, and then later he's like, oh, I just want to leave with my boy. I mean, no, you should have said that in the moment. It's a little nuances that be bothering me, but they do because I notice it, pick up on it. So actually, once that happened, I was kind of like in my mind, like I'm just not even seeing Mike anymore. Okay, I'm seeing Selena. I don't see Mike. So now that I've got to wash him from my brain, Selena's getting married to someone. Um, they leave, okay, and it's time for the wedding. The wedding venue looks beautiful. Everything looks like it turned out well. They do get married. Mike does, well, the man she's marrying, okay. The man who she's married does give a speech and the wedding goes off beautifully. After the wedding, we realize that there is no food. Okay. Now, I don't know who was not at 4 p.m. on the phone with catering. Like, why aren't you here? I don't know if I'm supposed to blame the wedding planner. I don't know who I'm blaming at this point. But if I am preparing to walk down the aisle, I'm expecting someone to be in the venue where the food is supposed to be in a panic mode about the food not being there. Okay? So it's crazy to me that at nearly 7 no one knows where the food is. Okay? Like this was not like somebody in the background should have been scrambling way ahead of time with the fact that the food was not there. Nobody noticed that the catering truck won't here. Nobody was thinking the service is going on. I thought the food was coming earlier. Oh well, we'll hope for the best. Like that to me was like a little bit problematic. And granted, it made for good show, right? Because there has to be some level of tension. We need some chaos in order, it's a beautiful event. So we do need some chaos in order to make this feel worthwhile. Like, and it was a great display of later on the Belle Collective crew going out to help the catering people. Apparently, the catering people lost power because it was raining. So I can understand that. But just the fact that nobody like seemed to like there was nobody like running around like with a chicken with their head cut off. Like somebody should have been like, you remember how when Mallory, this is way back. Mallory and her mama had the wedding documents, the marriage documents or whatever for Cynthia and Peter. And they was debating about whether or not they was going to bring them. They was like, we don't really want her to get married to him, allegedly. So what if we don't bring the paperwork? Somebody should have been in the background like, she's about to walk out on the stage and ain't no food back here. Like we needed to me, this is, and I'm being probably picky, but we needed to see that buildup of that tension in order for me to really process the fact that now all of a sudden everybody knows that there's no food. Why was this a last minute thought? Like, why did we wait till the people got into the venue to discover this fact? It should have been a thing from the very beginning. And again, I'm being picky. Okay, I know I'm being picky. But in my mind, that would have been the way I would have liked to have seen this go down. Wedding planner from weeks ago, right? Versus Kerri again. Okay? Kerri, I would have been like, this would have been me. If I was I'm just thinking if I was producing the episode, right? I would have been like, Kerri, go to the bathroom. And you need to run into this wedding planner. And you need to be the person. Because they've made Kerri a bit of I don't want to say a target this season, but I think if Kerri had been the person to do it, because Kerri was the one that got into the beef with the wedding planner before. So that's why in my producer mind, just me, okay, this is just me, I would have positioned Kerri to run into the wedding planner, and then this is during the ceremony, and then have her have it out with the wedding planner about why the food won't there. That way, while Selena is getting married, there is drama happening outside. Period. Okay? Now, what they do though is they use Kerri for another reason. All right? And Kerri walks herself into this. As they're waiting for the food and as they're trying to figure things out, some of the Bells are outside. And when I think Letitia asks Kerri if things are okay with her and Matt is standing right there. And they're like, we're fine. I really actually believe that Kerri and Matt are fine. I think that that's just their dynamics, but I still think she needs to stop using him as a punching bag. And she should never say that again on television. Although I appreciate the honesty, I just think that it's going to be a signal that he looks back on later and he's not going to like it. Anyway, so then she says this. Well, you know it's bad luck when it rains at the wedding. Girl, nobody wants to hear that right now. And I'm with Marie at this point when she says, why would you say that? Why would you say that? That is a thought you don't think aloud. You don't think that aloud. But, Kerri sticks her foot in her mouth. So here we are. Yet again. Good job, Kerri. The food finally does come. All of the Bells rush out to help, and it turns into be like a really kumbaya moment. And we do get to see Selena's wedding on TV. I will say this. I do feel like Selena next season, I'm going to need you to be active within the Bells. I'm going to need you to be sprinkling some tea, some gossip, taking something back to somebody, getting a little bit into the weeds. Because I feel like, Selena, you have kind of coasted a little bit, right? You kind of coasted. Granted, you had a wedding. Granted, the past season, we kind of explored the themes of death, and I understood that. But I think that next season, I'm going to need to see spicy Selena, right? I need to see the Selena that ran into Saguchi. I need to see that Selena again, okay? I ain't no shade. No shade. I'm going to give you what I want. I'm going to tell you what I want. So in the reunion, I'll talk more about what they have on next week. But in the reunion, we get a preview. Y'all know Mandy Girl and Shantae are showing up at the reunion. See, Carlos and the people, that's what we needed. We needed a shakeup, okay? We needed a shakeup. Not having Mandy Girl at the last reunion was a huge misstep, in my opinion, because that was a huge part of the story. Now, I also get if Letitia did not want her around. I get that. I totally get it because, I mean, truth be told, I wouldn't, right? I get that. But in terms of making the show a bit more salacious, having Shantae and Mandy Girl as a part of the mix ups the mess for this show. Granted, we like wholesome energy, we do, but we need a little sprinkle of something. I ain't gonna lie to you. We need a little sprinkle of something. And so having Mandy Girl, which is Latrice's friend that claimed that she was her and Glenn, and there were the alleged text messages. We never got a resolve from that. Shantae was a part of the first half of this season. We didn't really get a resolve from that. So now you add these two into the mix and you got some chaos. Not to mention the fact that Marie is spilling some tea that Tambra, there's some other man that is calling for some reason Essie and Marie to let them know that he and Tambra are together, or she knows what it is. First of all, I have so many questions about why this guy would do that. I do, but we got to wait until we see it to give full judgment. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna reserve my judgment for next week. Um, Letitia is letting the girls know, y'all don't have to like me, but you will respect me. I am the reason that all of you bees are here. Okay. So y'all gonna put some respect on my name. So we have all of that going on next week at the reunion. I don't know if it is going to be one episode or two episodes. Given that the season was 8 episodes, I would hope that the reunion is 2 episodes so we get 10 full episodes. So we'll see. Um so Magnolia Belle, they were Magnolia Belle says, is it Belle? Is Belle? I think it's Belle. Says, was Mandy and Shantae on any episodes this season? If not, they could have left them out. Yes, they were technically. They were on the first half of this season because I'm going to call it the first half of the season because we didn't get a reunion after we went on break. Well, at least Shantae was. I feel like Mandy Girl might have been there in scene at some point, but didn't really have a major part to play. But I felt like I did see her this season. Shantae definitely was. I mean, I'm kind of over it too. Like, I don't really get it. I feel like they're trying to pull something out of Tambra because when Tambra goes off, it does get juicy. But I do feel like let's do something else. If it's not natural, I'm not. Here's the thing. I if if I feel if I'm on a show and if I feel like you are not bringing it, but I am, then I'm not going to be the person that brings this out of you. I'm not going to do that. Like, if we don't have a natural conflict, we don't have a natural conflict. I listen, I cannot save you. Right? I mean, if that's the perspective that is had here, then it is just that, okay, you're gonna have to figure it out, babes. I don't know. I'm not gonna be the person. I'm just not. That's that. So anyway, y'all, that was Belle Collective. I did thoroughly enjoy this episode, despite the fact that I was frustrated by several things that I did explain. Now that I've gotten my frustrations out, I do feel better. So perhaps talking about your issues does help. I don't know. Just getting it out one time, you know. Um, but yeah, man, like I'm interested to see this reunion. I'm interested to see where things go. I think we're gonna have to shake things up next season. We have to shake things up. We either need some new bells or we've got to do something. We've got to do something a little crazy next season. We do. We do. We do. No shade. All right, so that's it. Make sure you guys check if you can fill out the form for the trip. I did put it in the chat one last time. It's literally 4 questions. I want to know what your first choice is for travel for 2027. Even if you're thinking about it, right? Even if you're thinking about it, where would your first choice be? What would your second choice be? And then I already kind of have an idea, but I just want some confirmation. And then, the price point that you would favorite the most. And then if you have any other suggestions for places that you would like to go, like Greece, Japan, what else were people saying? If you want to go back to Vietnam, if you would like to go to Croatia, that's been on the list. People have mentioned that. Brazil, Peru, Switzerland. I definitely plan to go back to Switzerland next year. So just let me know in the chat or just put it into the survey. The survey is literally, again, 4 questions. You don't have to put your name, your email address, nothing. I just want to know where you want to go. Okay. And I need as many people as possible to do that so that I can really get a good idea of where I'm taking the people. All right. Which I will announce it very soon. I'm going to announce the February trip very, very soon. So be on the lookout for that. With that being said, I will catch you in the next video.